Hi everyone, welcome back to another GT scale modelling video. Today we've got something a little different for the channel and hopefully something that is an improvement on what I've done before. So what we've got is a full build video for you. Delays between videos on my channel are not uncommon, of course, so I can't even really say that the delay between this video and the previous one is due to me doing something different. It partly is. However, even if I hadn't been, I'm fairly sure the delay would have been there anyway. So it's a build in pictures. I'd love to be able to set a camera up, film as I go, and put together one of these, you know, kind of really nicely edited video full builds for you. But I don't build quick enough anymore. I just don't get the time anymore, and it would be even longer than it already is between videos if I did it that way. I also just not entirely sure really how to go about it in the best way. So to start with anyway, and to try something, I thought I would do full build in pictures. So at least you see one of my projects from start right through to the end, and hopefully that will be interesting for you and something a bit different. So please, I'll start off with, let me know how you think this is in the comments below. I really like to hear from you guys. I'm up to now just over 1,400 subscribers, so it'll be good to actually hear from you guys if you're watching. If you're not subscribed and you've come across this, please consider subscribing. I'll be honest, my content has been a bit patchy. I'm going to do what I can to ensure that some more quality output is going to come from the channel with a little bit more regularity. And depending how this was received, then the feedback from this will of course help shape future content. Okay, so what are we going to build? Well, as you can see from the title, of course, we're going to build the Asuka / Tamiya 135 Type 74, which is a vehicle of the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force. Okay, so before we go in, this is the kit here. Okay, it's original Tamiya plastic with some update sprues from Asuka, who are, I believe, no longer in business. I believe they are now Tasca, or the other way around. Tasca became Asuka, one or the other. And if anybody's a fan of Sherman kits, you'll know that they put together some of the, still considered to be some of the better Shermans on the market. And they teamed up with Tamiya for some of those recent releases. So the recent Tamiya Easy 8, Firefly, those kits are actually Asuka kits, as far as I'm led to believe. So good sort of older Tamiya kit with some slightly finer detailed replacement parts and update parts, which kind of help bump it up a little bit. I'm not going to do a review of this, okay? Sebastian from Dutch Modelling, he's already done a review of this kit. It was in fact him who sent it to me after he'd reviewed it. And so I will stick a link in one of the cards up here, and it will also be a link in the description to his channel and to that video. So if you want to have a proper in-depth look at through the box, I would suggest you go and watch that video either before, and then you can come back to this one, or after this one. So that'd be really good. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the build. It is pictures, bear with it. It's not overly long, and the final reveal pictures are at the end. So yeah, here's the build. Alright guys, so that was the build. I'm just going to talk quickly about that build, so how it went and all that kind of stuff to give you an idea. Kit goes together really well. It is an older Tamiya kit, but it fits like a Tamiya kit. The upper hull, maybe not so obvious from the pictures, was slightly warped at the back, but because it's got tabs for clicking the upper hull in, that wasn't too much of an issue. It just meant it had to be just held in place when I did finally glue it at the end of the assembly. The tracks are the sort of rubber bands that come in 4 sections, so 2 sections per side. I believe they're meant to be able to be glued together with polystyrene cement, so like to me extra thin. I had trouble getting them to stick with that, so I ended up using super glue. Not the end of the world. And the detail for this type of track on this type of kit, it's not a problem. I didn't think it was an issue. I wouldn't feel the need to update those with any kind of aftermarket. No photo etch in the kit. I don't mind that. Maybe some engine grills would have been okay. I don't think there was many other things that would have overly benefited from that. Maybe things like the horn and horn surrounds on the front of the upper hull. Sorry. That they may have benefited from it, but they're part of the detail set, so they're thinner, more modern plastic anyway, so not the end of the world. So overall, the build was really good. No, as I said, no fit issues. I didn't have to use any filler anywhere. The little rubber sort of piping that came for the power cords for the infrared light on this turret, they fitted fine. They were little rubber tubes that just slipped over the little connectors that were there. They glued with some plastic glue nicely, so they were really nice. Yeah, overall, no complaints about the build at all. Pretty straightforward. And yeah, the most confusing bit was maybe adding some of the detail up parts. Not confusing, just a bit of time and effort. The engine deck, all molded on grab handles, they suggest you replace, which is fine because they're just solid. They don't have any kind of opening in them. So they're all replaced with the plastic one, with the replacement ones, which means snipping them all off, sanding those areas, getting it prepped, getting it smooth. Doable, just a bit time consuming. So it was built, painted. I will be honest, I did forget to say exactly what colour paints they were. It was Tamiya's J.G.S.D.F brown, which I believe is XF73, so I'm looking at my shelf. XF73, and the green, gonna be honest, can't quite remember. I think it was Tamiya RAF Dark Green 2 or something I ended up going with. I've done a number of modern Japanese vehicles now, and every single one of them is a different shade of brown, a different shade of green from the previous one. Some paints, although they're official, the Tamiya ones, the official JGSDF colour paints, I don't think are that close to the real ones, so I haven't used them before, but I did use them one time and discovered I wasn't happy with it. I've used Vallejo paints before. Mr. Hobby do a specific set for them, which is really good, but I ended up using up the entire of the green pot on one model once, and it was, you know, an £8 for 3 paint set, which was not overly cheap, and then I couldn't find the exact green colour in a standalone paint because I had enough of the others. Anyway, you might not be able to see them, but they're up on here, my entire collection of other Japanese vehicles, and you can't quite tell from there, but they're all slightly, subtly different colours from each other. It is what it is. It was a mix of Tamiya paints that I used. Painting went really well, nice and easy. It's a nice broad camo pattern, airbrushed freehand, and sealed in with a gloss. Just a brown oil wash to bring out some of the details. The few decals went on without a problem at all. Matte coated in just some kind of, I wouldn't even really call it filtering, just kind of dabbing oils on the surface just to give a kind of a used dusty sort of patina across the whole vehicle, with some streaking down the sides where some of the dust had sort of run off, and a little bit of pigment and sort of oil paint work on the undercarriage just to again tone down and just look like it's got kind of a layer of sort of dirt and dust and grime on it. That's all I was going to do with this. They're modern vehicles, they've never seen combat. In fact, they might not even exist anymore. I think they're out of service now. But like most of the Japanese armoured vehicles, not seeing any kind of combat apart from the few of these sort of little like Jeep, sort of armoured sort of Jeep things that they sent to Iraq one time, and I think some of their bigger wheeled APCs. Tank wise though, as far as I'm aware, modern stuff, never seen any kind of combat, so it's going to be well kept, it's going to be clean for the most part. So yeah, build, painting, no problems at all. Yeah, so without further ado, let's move on to the final reveal pictures. And again, let me know what you think about these. I've got a DSLR now. I'm kind of getting into some photography with a proper camera, and I also have a light booth now. So the photos were taken with my camera and with my light booth. So I'm quite happy with them. They're a lot better than picture shots on my yellow desk mat and things. So let me know how they are. And if you're still watching, thank you. And yeah, I was going to film an outro, but we'll call it here. Then it's less of me talking. Thanks for watching. Please do look at these last pictures. Let me know what you think. Like the video, share it if you want, subscribe to the channel. I'm keen to see it grow. I realise that means I've got to put content out, so I will do my best. If you know, if you guys can do me the favour, the honour of subscribing and watching and sharing those videos, it really means a lot. Makes it worthwhile. As for the next project, all I'll say just now is it's going to be some figures, so similar to my Afghanistan one that I recently did. It's just going to be a sort of, it's going to be a diorama, it's going to be a figure diorama, and it's going to be World War One. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in that next video. Bye for now.